Anthony Richardson's health. Anthony Richardson's health is really, really, really concerning me. And we know Anthony Richardson coming in, only 13 college games, the most raw prospect we've arguably ever seen. I didn't necessarily like to pick that high, but Shane Steichen becoming head coach changed everything for the Colts, and they saw what they saw in Anthony Richardson, and the Steichen toolage, as I've talked about on social and in the past, is clearly working its magic right now. But Anthony Richardson is now out with his second injury of the year. He suffered a grade 3 AC sprain on the throwing shoulder, which means he's out for at least 4 weeks. He could be out for 6 weeks. I'm just very, very concerned about his health already because now he's already missed one game with a concussion. That was in week 2. He missed the very next game. That was when him and CJ Stroud were set to face off against each other. And I was pissed that he got injured. I actually changed that game because the only reason I was watching it was that him and Stroud were going to face off. But Anthony Richardson already having a second injury, this one being pretty major, if you ask me. The AC sprain in the shoulder. We saw Derek Carr struggle with that. He came back, loses. Don't think he should have played. We've heard of Drew Brees playing through AC sprains. We've heard of other quarterbacks play through these AC sprains. But when it's on the throwing shoulder, and when you injured it the way Anthony Richardson did, being out for the amount of time he's going to be out for, it can do nothing but worry you. I think it can be coached out of him because of how Shane Steichen has coached so far this year. Again, he's my coach of the year right now, mostly because of what he's doing with Anthony Richardson, but I think the Colts are playing with house money. They're 3-2. They're well above expectations right now. And Anthony Richardson has a pretty good offensive line in front of him. The Colts don't give up a ton of sacks. Now, Anthony Richardson is a mobile quarterback, so it can be possibly harder to protect said quarterback. We've seen that in the past with just numbers reflecting as quarterbacks move around more. But what Anthony Richardson has done so far in really a small sample size is impressive, and I don't want that to be hindered or halted by an injury, by him being reckless. I get it. Huge build, Josh Allen 2.0, but a mix of Trey Lance because you don't know what he is. But he looks great through the first few games. And again, freaking credit to Shane Steichen. I cannot overstate it enough about how much coaching actually matters in this league. So he's out for at least a month. It could be 6 weeks. The Colts' record without him can get interesting in this predicament because all of these games are winnable. If he misses just 4 games, he's going to play the Jaguars on the road. He's going to play the Browns at home. He's going to play my Saints at home, and he's going to play the Panthers on the road. If he just misses 4 games, again, they could win all of these games. They could win their next 6 games without Anthony Richardson based on the schedule, how the Colts are playing, and how Shane Steichen is coaching these guys and got them performing at this type of level. If they miss 4 games, I think their floor is 1 win. I think their ceiling is winning all 4. I think they'll go 3-1 in this stretch. Y'all know I'm not going to pick against my Saints. Yes, we are going to be on the road, but I believe our defense could be too much for Anthony Richardson. Excuse me, he's definitely not going to play that game. So it's going to be too much for Gardner Minshew. I do think Steichen will coach a hell of a game. It'll probably be a close one. If Anthony Richardson misses 6 games, so after having the Panthers on the road, he would go and play, the Colts would go and play the Patriots on the road, and then they would host the Buccaneers. If he misses 6 games, I think it's a low of 1 win. I think it's a high of 6 wins, but I think they'll go anywhere between 4-2 or 5-1. So the Colts can come out of this being anywhere from 6-3 to 8-3. I mean, they really can. The Colts can come out of this stretch still being in a very good position. We got the Jags. We've got the Texans. We've got the Titans in the division who this division is just heating up. People thought the AFC South was going to be the Jaguars to take. Jaguars are a top 7, top 8 team to everybody. Definitely not playing like it right now. But Anthony Richardson going through this injury might not be as bad for the Colts as what people are saying in terms of what the record can be. Again, I don't want AR to stay hurt. I don't want him to be hindered. I don't want the Colts to have their possible franchise quarterback, and because of how mobile he is and how young he is, his career gets cut short. I'm not saying his career is going to get cut short, but when we see quarterbacks early on, I just talked about it with Joe Burrow being Andrew Luck. I don't want Anthony Richardson to possibly get an Andrew Luck type of, not treatment, but outcome, because I think the Colts are doing a great job building around Anthony Richardson. I believe the offensive line that they have right now, I believe the coaching, again, that they have right now, the weapons that they're putting around him. They just re-signed Jonathan Taylor. Unfortunately, it feels like at the expense of Anthony Richardson. But Anthony Richardson is a star in the making. And absolute star in the making with what is happening. And I can't wait to see him continue to grow. He's making amazing throws, very mobile, cutting on a dime, can be strong. Let him learn to get that toolage together and read a defense. And Anthony Richardson is going to be a very scary quarterback to play on Sundays. And I think we're going to see him in some January and Februarys if the trajectory he can be on with Shane Steichen actually comes to fruition. Again, he suffers a grade 3 AC sprain. He's out for at least 4 weeks, could be out for 6. I think they'll go between 6-3 and 8-3 as an overall record through these next 4 to 6 games as they do walk into it 3-2. They could win all of them. Colts fans, y'all get in the comments. Let me know, how do you feel about Anthony Richardson's health? Are you nervous? Do you think he could be doing better things to take care of himself? Maybe that's a given.